Talk 640 WFNC.
Good morning, Carolina. Live from the Cumulus Broadcast Center here in Fayetteville. This is News Talk 640 WFNC and 103.5 HD2. I want to welcome you to the first hour of Good Morning Fayetteville. This is Thursday, February 26th. I'm Gilbert Baez. Kenny Hitman Mcclain making the magic happen this morning in Studio 2. CBS 17 meteorologist Rachel Dunsing says it'll be partly cloudy. Possible some showers throughout the day. High temperature will be about 50 degrees. Right now, 52 in Fayetteville, 52 at Fort Bragg, and 51 degrees in Linden. Headline news for you at this hour. A security check in Fayetteville leads to narcotics, a weapon, and an arrest of a felon on multiple drug charges. The Cumberland County Sheriff's Office needs your help locating a suspect in the death of 36-year-old Verante White. It's the WFNC Crime Stoppers Crime of the Week. The Fayetteville City Council is expanding opportunities for residents to speak directly to the council during open forums. And residents in Cumberland and Harnett counties are encouraged to register for the 40th annual Mid-Carolina Senior Games. All that and more coming your way, but first, local news from CBS 17.
Good morning. From the CBS 17 newsroom, I'm Bill Young. 4 employees at a Chapel Hill bar are now facing charges after a crash in Harnett County killed 3 people and left another badly hurt. State authorities say 3 people in one of the cars involved drank alcohol at Still Life Chapel Hill before crashing on Highway 87 on Valentine's Day. One of them was younger than 21. All 3 of them were soldiers at Fort Bragg. The employees of the bar are now facing a variety of misdemeanors, including selling mixed drinks to someone under 21 and failing to properly supervise liquor sales. A routine security check turned into a Sunday morning drug bust in Fayetteville. According to police, Laquile Davis was arrested on multiple drug charges after an officer, during a routine security check on Bordeaux Park Drive, saw Davis as part of a drug deal. The officer followed Davis to a house, and that is where police carried out the search. A gun, meth, heroin, cocaine, and oxycodone were among the drugs found, along with nearly $1,300 in cash. Davis has a long list of drug charges against him, along with possession of a firearm by a felon. A 2025 state fire marshal report shows 159 people died in fires last year. More than half of those took place where a fire alarm was not present. So far this year, 27 have died in fires. A new Amazon delivery station is now open in Southern Pines, one of 5 statewide designed to improve service in rural areas. It will nearly double the number of customers in rural areas receiving same-day delivery. Collectively, the 5 locations created 700 jobs. From the CBS 17 newsroom, I'm Bill Young.
Today will be a cloudy and rainy Thursday with a high of 66. Overnight, a spotty shower is possible, but it will otherwise be mainly cloudy with a low of 48. And Friday will also be mostly cloudy with a stray spotty shower and a high of 57. A half inch, even up to an inch of rain is expected through today, with conditions eventually drying out tomorrow. But it will be a beautiful weekend with highs in the 60s and 70s. That is your Fayetteville forecast. I'm CBS 17 meteorologist Rachel Dunsing.
All right, Rachel, thank you so much. Right now, 53 degrees across the board. Fayetteville, Rayford, and also in Spout Springs. You're listening to News Talk 640 with WFNC.
This report is sponsored by Fox One.
Fox News is now streaming live on Fox One. Get live coverage, in-depth analysis, and perspectives from the voices you trust, all in one place. Stream Fox News on Fox One. Download today.
Good morning, Fayetteville with Gilbert Baez. On WFNC. News Talk 640 AM and now at 103.5 HD2. Your information crossroads. WFNC.
Well,
I wish that it would go and let me cry in vain and let me be alone again.
you know, you always picked appropriate stuff. Obviously, the rain you saw this morning inspired that thing as you drove in this morning.
Yes, and also the weather radar. I'm looking out the Doppler window weather radar.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll tell you what, it looks like we're in for it. So, yeah, the Hitman comes through. I'm going to play. Actually, coming up next, you ready?
What?
Raindrops keep falling
on my head. Man, what a fantastic. When you hear that song, even as old as it is, and the facts of raindrops are falling on your head, you still get a good feeling.
It's a happy song.
Yeah, it's a happy song.
Yeah, it's like right up there with Don't Worry, Be Happy. Come on.
There.
Thank you, Bobby McFerrin.
So, but you know what?
Don't worry, be happy.
You came in this morning.
Yes, sir.
And we were talking about our batting averages.
Yeah.
What's your batting average this morning?
I'm at 500.
Right, and I'm 333.
500 meaning in baseball, we're talking about our traffic lingo, how many lights we get
Right.
stopped at on our course. You've got what, 18?
I got 18, and I was stopped by 6. So that's 1/3 of the lights stopped me this morning. Normally, it's like 1 or 2, which makes it going to be a very good day. As a matter of fact, my son Gilbert Jr. said, "Hey, Dad, how many lights?" So he's listening, right? He said, "How many lights stopped you this morning?" I said, "Okay, yeah." But so you had 50%.
In baseball lingo, I believe half would be
500.
500. So for you, I believe you're batting this morning at 333.
Yeah. So who's batting better?
You.
Am I?
Of course.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Rangers lead the way.
Hey, I'm just messing with you a little bit.
All right.
That's just like, remember, who did we have in here that said, it was Dr. Green. We were talking about her batting average.
Right.
And she was like .1 something, right? She couldn't hit a ball worth the darn.
When she was talking about her being in high school and
Yes,
sports,
yes.
in sports and junior high and such.
It's Thursday. I miss her.
Yes.
But rumor has it she may come back at some point in time once her husband gets redeployed. Because if you're at Fort Bragg and special operations or whatever, at some point you go away and you come back. And so maybe she'll come back. And the slot that's being held right now is an interim position, and they're not going to fill it until she comes back. All right. I came into the meeting yesterday, and I showed you the picture of my twin, Randy Moore.
What do they call it, a Doppler ganger? Or?
Yeah, doppelganger, yeah. Someone sent that to me. Everybody has a twin somewhere in the world. We're not going to talk about yours. Not the one I showed you, but have you bumped into someone that kind of looks like you?
Yes, and I get that quite often. I've often thought that, I would have been one of those guys had I made it to Hollywood, one of those great extras that would have had just maybe a speaking part, like,
Right.
hey, how you doing? One of those guys. Because I get it a lot.
Yeah.
I get, hey, I've seen you before. I know you.
Yeah.
And you get it too, right?
Well, I can't help it because I've been on TV
Right.
so much. As a matter of fact, people will see me somewhere and they'll say, "Hey, I've seen you." I said, "Yeah, the post office, America's Most Wanted. I'm a serial killer. They let me out for good behavior this weekend."
Don't tell anybody.
No, you look like my next victim. No, but I'm flattered by the amount of people who know me. That just means I can't do anything bad. Mm-hmm. So that's what that's about. But it was really neat having Randy Moore in here yesterday. And as a matter of fact, I forgot to put the microphone in on the podcast. And so it was terrible sound. Mm-hmm. But Trevor, like you've done in the past, sent me the audio off the podcast Pepper, and I was able to dub in the good audio last night and repost the interview that we did last night. And it was really good. Come to find out, we had Judge King in here, and she knows him. As a matter of fact, when she was starting off as an attorney, Randy Moore's company provided the stuff that she needed in her office as a young, poor attorney. Mm. And when she got the bill for the services that they provide for installing everything, she said it was $0. And so that tells you who Randy Moore is. He's concerned about the community, and he started this business, in the early 2000s or something like that. And come to find out that both of us are Army Rangers, both of us stationed at 35th Signal Brigade at Fort Bragg. So the similarities between the two of us went beyond just the fact that we kind of look alike as well.
Well, you look a lot alike.
Yeah, and
how did you run into him?
Well, I tried to interview him, years ago, when he was building that place out in Spring Lake.
Okay.
So it's a wonderful complex. They do security for
all branches of the military, even the White House. So I mean,
Like the serious stuff.
oh yeah.
Security.
Yeah. It's a
All right.
top-notch Fortune 500 type company kind of thing.
Okay.
And so I wanted to do a story when they were building it, and he said, "Nah, I want to talk to you." But I looked back at the picture of him. He had a little hair, and I think maybe facial hair or something. So you couldn't see that the resemblance back then. Fast forward 20 years, and his hair is gone. His mustache is still in regulations, kind of like mine. And when I say regulations, military thing, no hair on your lips, that kind of thing. So now it's very apparent that he looks like me. And he came to karaoke at Melvin's at Riverside one day. I was setting up, and he walked up to me, and he was saying, "Hey, Gilbert, you remember me? You tried to interview me 20 years ago, whatever like that."
Okay.
And I'm looking at the guy, and you're looking at yourself kind of, but I couldn't. I said, something about this guy that I don't know. And his wife came running up and said, "Hey, everybody thinks my husband is you."
He looks that much like you. I've seen
Yeah.
the photo, but I didn't get to see him yesterday. He came in a little earlier. But what I wanted to happen, what would have been funny to me, is that he came in later on, and then he saw people in the office and
Yeah.
pulled "I'm Gilbert Baez. What, you looking at me?"
No, what we were going to do if he could, he had to get out. He's got some stuff going on.
Okay.
But if he remember, I came into the meeting yesterday. I just kind of walked in the door.
Yes.
I was going to have him do that.
Oh, you interrupted the whole meeting. It
He had a
was
story of
great.
my
Yeah.
life. Hey, y'all meeting. Hey,
Yeah,
I don't have any
everybody
time for
stop.
meeting, but y'all are meeting. I got to go to bed.
This was a big meeting, too.
Was it? I could tell.
You could tell, huh?
I get to Tish's face. I could tell. It's like, what the heck are you?
Yes.
I'm in here. I'm having a staff meeting.
Oh.
Gilbert Baez.
I want to show you something, y'all. Look at this photo.
That's right.
It's me. It's me.
Yeah. Well, I guess y'all got a kick out of it. But look,
boy,
but everybody
I
wants to know who he was,
Yeah.
so they can give him a call. No, he's going out of business. He's selling in business. Don't try and go sell him any advertisements. But he's going to go back down to Louisiana, I think, and start a community center in his hometown down there, and going to name it after his mom or dad. And I thought he was leaving, but he's not. He's got 2 homes up here. He's going to stick around and kind of operate that thing. And then after a couple of years, I think he's going to give it to his cousin. So we're glad to know that Randy's going to still be in our community.
Mm-hmm.
And so he will still be walking around impersonating me at different. Now, he's the second person that kind of looks like me. Jimmy Harvey also looks like me. Jimmy gets free meals. And he brags about it. He tells me, "Hey, man, I got another meal today." People thought it was you. Now, let me say this about me. I don't accept free meals. So all you restaurateurs out there, if I'm in there and I'm taking the meal, it's Jimmy. It's not me. I had a good friend at one of the restaurants. I won't tell you which one it was, but they would never let me pay when I came in. I had to pull the owner aside years ago. And I said, "Look, I patronize your business because I love you. And you got, a good business. You're running a business here. It's not a charity. I don't mind paying for my food. And so I come here because I love you and love you in the community." So that's how I am. So if you see somebody taking a meal, that's Jimmy.
It's not me.
That's
It's
Jimmy.
not me. It's not
And
Gilbert
look,
Baez.
he's the second, but the first person that looked like me was Tracy Roscoe, the son of a Cumberland County Sheriff's deputy. His father saw me in Sears. To show you how far back this goes, because Sears is not the Cross Creek Mall anymore. He saw me in Sears, walked up behind me, and said, "Tracy, what are you doing home and didn't tell your mom or dad?"
Okay.
And God rest his soul, because he's no longer with us. Great man. I turned around and said, "I didn't know I was supposed to tell you I'm home." And he said, "Oh my God, you look just like my son." And sure I do.
No, I'm not your son, but I've played one on TV.
I did. And I said, "I got to see this kid." He said, "Oh, would you come to our house?"
Oh.
I said, "Okay, I'll come to your house." So they told Tracy to come over and didn't tell him I was coming. And he was sitting on the couch, and I walked into the living room, and there I was sitting on the couch. I mean, that's how much he looked like me.
Really?
Yeah, and Tracy looked up at me and smiled, and he said, "Gilbert Baez." He said, "Everywhere I go, everybody thinks I'm you." And he enlisted in the Navy, and it was, I think it was the Navy. Anyway, he was on the bus leaving Fayetteville, going up to Raleigh for the recruitment thing or swearing in or whatever it was. And all the recruits on the bus were saying, "Man, what are you doing joining the Navy? You're on TV. You got a good job. Why are you leaving?" He said, "That's not me."
That's not me.
Yeah. So anyway, That's the story of my life. There are 3 people out there walking around impersonating me, and some of them probably buying houses and cars and putting it in my name.
And they're all right here. Just imagine all throughout the world.
Well, 2 of them are here. Well, no, that's right. Tracy came back. As a matter of fact, Tracy came over to karaoke at Melvin's, and the day after his wedding, he and his bride came in. So we had a little thing at Melvin's at Riverside.
All right.
So anyway, all right, look. Got a lot of stuff today. Got a great show. We're going to tell you who's coming and all that stuff. But first, we're going to check out local weather with CBS 17 meteorologist Tracy Dunsing.
Today will be a cloudy and rainy Thursday with a high of 66. Overnight, a spotty shower is possible, but it will otherwise be mainly cloudy with a low of 48. And Friday will also be mostly cloudy with a stray spotty shower and a high of 57. A half inch, even up to an inch of rain is expected through today, with conditions eventually drying out tomorrow. But it will be a beautiful weekend with highs in the 60s and 70s. That is your Fayetteville forecast. I'm CBS 17 meteorologist Rachel Dunsing.
All right, Rachel, thank you. Right now, we're holding steady still, 53. Fort Bragg, Spring Lake, and also at Pembroke. You're listening to News Talk 640 with WFNC.
Fayetteville's first in news and information for 4 decades. News Talk 640 WFNC. Stream online at WFNC640am.com. Never a password, never a fee.
When leadership works for the people, communities grow. That's why I'm stepping up. This is Terry Thomas, candidate for County Commissioner District 1. Public safety, youth opportunities, growing our economy, dignity for families and seniors, and clean, safe water. These aren't just talking points. I believe in transparent, people-focused leadership. Please vote Terry Thomas, a reliable voice for Cumberland County. Paid for by the committee to elect Terry Thomas.
If you have a big event coming up, whether it's a wedding, a baby shower, retirement party, or a birthday party, any kind of event, you need to call the Creative Studio by Jay Renee.
Hi, I'm Jay Renee, and I'm excited to plan your event. I don't want you to worry about picking a venue, a DJ, a caterer, or lighting. You just show up. Get glammed up, invite your guests, and we'll make it unforgettable.
If you want to wow your guests, then you want to hire Jay Renee. Visit thecreativestudiobyjay.com. That's thecreativestudiobyjae.com. Creativity lives here.
Enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215215. That's HIM to 215-215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Paid for by Adaptive Health.
Good morning, Fayetteville with Gilbert Baez on WFNC News Talk 640 AM and now on 103.5 HD2.
Raindrops are falling on my head, and just like the guy whose feet are too big for his bed, nothing seems to fit. Those raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling.
Well,
So I just did.
Sony just banned us across the world because we're playing that music, but heck with Sony. That's what I say.
I don't know. Am I overdoing it with the rain song?
No. Hey, look, you're the producer extraordinaire. I just go by the flow of what you pick, and that kind of sets the tempo and the tone.
Well, I'm picking a few because it's 100% chance according to my Doppler weather radar.
Yeah, that's right.
And we'll check in with Rachel to get the official.
And your
forecast.
product placement is pretty good this morning on our podcast. If you're watching on our podcast this morning on my Facebook page or my YouTube channel, then you see Kenny trying to make some money on the side.
Well, when I was younger, I was known to double fist a couple of times in a bad way.
There you go.
Now I'm double fisting. If you'll see on
yeah,
the
you straightened up.
Yeah,
you cleaned up yourself
with caffeine. I've got 2 shots of espresso in my left hand and a nice coffee straight up black in my right hand. So I'm ready and by the way, I told the lady at Dunkin' Donuts we
What's
have
her name?
her name is Noelle. We have a relationship.
Yes, you do.
And I said, you know what? Great marketing idea with the big playoffs coming up for the NCAA and such.
Yeah.
You should say, wait, it's a slam Dunkin'.
Whoa!
Here.
Look, see? Now someone's going to take that. You should have patented that or put whatever it is you put on there.
Actually,
Trademark it.
U.S. patent. I just recently patented my first phrase just recently. So that's another story I can't tell you.
Oh, because you don't have the patent yet.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Well, I want to know what that is.
I'll tell you after the break.
Okay. Now, this relationship you have with this woman,
yes,
with
Noelle.
this woman, is it a drive-through relationship, or are you going to see her?
Come on, man! It's 5:10 in the morning. I'm not going to present myself.
Okay, I'm just throwing stuff in here. All right, look, we got a good show. Obviously, Thursday is our special day because we have Mitch Colvin come in. The mayor's going to talk about things of importance to the city of Fayetteville, if you live in the city. But before we get to that, we always hit him with other stuff that have absolutely nothing to do with why he's here. That's why he loves coming on the show. And we got this guy coming here named E.J. Snyder with E.J. Pickles. He's an entrepreneur. I always love talking to the entrepreneurs. Apparently, he started a gazillion businesses. But, you know, he's a veteran. When you make that transition from the military into the civilian world, it's a different world, but you still bring your military bearing into it. And you got to make this adjustment. So learning how to do that is important, and he's done a good job at it. So we're going to talk to him about that transition and how you start businesses in the civilian world after being a soldier or in the military, no matter what branch you're in. And then we've got Amanda Smith and Jarrell Bogan. They're going to come in. They're both Deltas. They tracked me down yesterday. You know, I was asleep. The phone was ringing and messing with me. They're Deltas. They were part of that crew that came in and bought the food for the food drive. Remember, I wasn't here. Everybody was. Yeah, so they know where the station is.
Yeah, it's when we were filling up the buses.
Yes.
Over there, and instead of waiting to go over to Bubba's, a whole bunch of women came
on.
in.
Yeah.
I mean, a whole bunch. There's photos floating around.
Yeah, there are.
Because we were just so amazed that these women came in with all the stuff that they wanted to donate.
I was talking with Amanda yesterday. I said, well, let me tell you how to get to the station. Gilbert, we know how to get there.
They do.
You weren't there. So they're rubbing that in on me. But anyway, this is a neat program that they got, and there are other places doing this across the country as well. It's called A Cinderella's Closet, Turning Dresses into Dreams. I really love this thing. So they're collecting dresses and everything, and they're making them available for prom season for those who might not be able to afford the dresses, the shoes, you know, all of the accessories in order to go to prom. Well, it's a great story.
Yes.
Yeah, so, you know, I slipped them into the emergency slot. They're going to come in at 8:10. So we're going to make an adjustment on the local news there, make sure we get them enough time before we get down to 8:20. This is Jamel Nassar, who is the Fayetteville Human Relations Commission Director. She's going to be here to talk about the program they just had last week that Dominique was the MC for.
Yes.
The recognition of the 2026 Community Awards at the Botanical Gardens. And so we're going to highlight those. I got pictures of all those folks. We're going to bring them up on the screen. We're going to talk about those individuals. And in addition, the Human Relations Commission is giving out $1,000 scholarships. Now is the time to apply for that. And so we'll have her talk about that a little bit more. And then one of the best interviews of the day, the one you love, because you're going to get to use the puppy cam.
Yes.
Where you get to walk
cam.
around.
This was something new that you discovered, you thought of last week.
Yeah.
Because we were doing live on Facebook. And
Yeah.
that worked good, but now we have the big camera, and I get to follow around with puppy
because
cam.
the dog is in here. This is the Fayetteville Animal Protection Society.
Yeah.
They come in on Thursday, and Beppy Smith will be here. She brings the dog, and some of these dogs, you know, have been there for some time. So she bought one last week that had been here on another occasion. Dog came straight in, came up to me. Hey, where are the Snicker bars? Come on, man. Yeah, and you're the guy that gives out the milk bones.
Yeah, yeah.
And I wasn't ready for the dog, but you came in and so we follow the animal around so you can see it. This is an effort to try to get animals forever homes, and we do it every Thursday with the Pet of the Week here on WFNC in conjunction with FABS. And so we show you how to get there. We tell you how to get there. We show you a pet that you'd like to adopt. This is the only no-kill shelter in Cumberland County. And they work very closely with Animal Services here to try to get some of the animals over there and, you know, really promote them. And the neat thing about them, and I'm giving the 8 o'clock spiel already, but that's okay. The neat thing about these animals is the fact that they've taken care of everything in terms of the vet bills and all that kind of stuff. Now, they're not giving the dogs away. There is a price to get them, but once you get these dogs, you will save hundreds of dollars in vet bills because all of the medical things have been taken care of. So it's always a good show, and we look forward to it in the 8 o'clock hour.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, we were so busy yesterday, I didn't even get into In My Heart this morning.
Oh, shame on you.
I know. I looked at the book. It was over to the side, but we had people coming here like Grand Central Station.
Oh, so that's why it was laying in the same place that
Exactly.
I left it. All right.
Because, Trevor is a follower of the book.
He is.
He
but
does.
I was
After we get off the air, I always quiz him on it. He knows there's an exam. And so he studies. You got to love him. He's 24 years old, fresh out of college just about and doing his thing. So we appreciate him. But this one is day 93. And I know Janet Gibson with a photography in this book by Sidney Burnham. She's probably listening. And I'm thinking on day 100, we should have her in here when we were reading the last one. We should have her come back.
She should read it.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how we cap it off.
Okay. We'll have her read it. But we've been reading these things for 3 months now. 90?
I guess
goodness.
so.
Do the math. Well, sometimes we can get so busy with life that we forget to make memories. So hug a little longer. Make time to listen. See the world from the wonder of our own backyard. All right, Kenny, hit it.
Sometimes we get so busy with life that we forget to make memories. So hug a little longer. Make time to listen. See the world from the wonder of our own backyard.
Well, I always love the way you interpolate this.
Did I overdo it?
No. I mean, man, you went off. And I could just see in Janet's mind her writing it that way. Hey, and then you hit it. That's why I always leave it to you to give the.
I don't know how we started that, but thank you.
Yeah, but it's a pretty neat thing.
Thank you, Janet. I guess she's around here somewhere close by to where she could come in.
Yeah, she probably walk over here. She probably could throw a rock and break out our front window.
All right.
But the neat thing about her is the fact that she has been doing this, and she and Cindy Burnham worked very closely in putting this book together, and there are a lot of folks who have enjoyed it, and we're happy to share the thoughts. I want to share a couple of thoughts with you, with us here. We do want to do the WFNC Crime Stoppers Crime of the Week. Didn't get a chance to do that here. This is a new one. Sergeant Alpha Caldwell comes in every Tuesday and freshen us up here. And, when these things are kind of old, because this one is from, I think, 2018. The Cumberland County Sheriff's Office needs some local support in finding the suspects involved in the death of 36-year-old Verante White. The incident happened March 24th, 2018, at a home on Bernardine Street in just outside of Fayetteville, Bernardine Street. It's the WFNC Crime Stoppers Crime of the Week. When deputies arrived at the home, they found White unconscious, suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. The victim was taken to Cape Fear Valley Medical Center where he died. There is a $2,000 reward for information leading for a suspect or an arrest in the case. Anyone with information should contact the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office, or you can call Crime Stoppers anonymously. That number, 910-483-9477. All right, we got that in. Now it's time for local news from CBS 17.
Good morning. From the CBS 17 newsroom, I'm Bill Young. 4 employees at a Chapel Hill bar are now facing charges after a crash in Harnett County killed 3 people and left another badly hurt. State authorities say 3 people in one of the cars involved drank alcohol at Still Life Chapel Hill before crashing on Highway 87 on Valentine's Day. One of them was younger than 21. All 3 of them were soldiers at Fort Bragg. The employees of the bar are now facing a variety of misdemeanors, including selling mixed drinks to someone under 21 and failing to properly supervise liquor sales. A routine security check turned into a Sunday morning drug bust in Fayetteville. According to police, LaQuile Davis was arrested on multiple drug charges after an officer, during a routine security check on Bordeaux Park Drive, saw Davis as part of a drug deal. The officer followed Davis to a house, and that is where police carried out the search. A gun, meth, heroin, cocaine, and oxycodone were among the drugs found, along with nearly $1,300 in cash. Davis has a long list of drug charges against him, along with possession of a firearm by a felon. A 2025 state fire marshal report shows 159 people died in fires last year. More than half of those took place where a fire alarm was not present. So far this year, 27 have died in fires. A new Amazon delivery station is now open in Southern Pines, one of 5 statewide designed to improve service in rural areas. It will nearly double the number of customers in rural areas receiving same-day delivery. Collectively, the 5 locations created 700 jobs. From the CBS 17 newsroom, I'm Bill Young.
Today will be a cloudy and rainy Thursday with a high of 66. Overnight, a spotty shower is possible, but it will otherwise be mainly cloudy with a low of 48. And Friday will also be mostly cloudy with a stray spotty shower and a high of 57. A half inch, even up to an inch of rain is expected through today, with conditions eventually drying out tomorrow. But it will be a beautiful weekend with highs in the 60s and 70s. That is your Fayetteville forecast. I'm CBS 17 meteorologist Rachel Dunsing.
All right, Rachel, thank you so much. We've got 53 degrees right now at Fayetteville, Anderson Creek, and also in Olivia. You're listening to News Talk 640 WFNC.
This report is sponsored by Fox One.
Fox News is now streaming live on Fox One. Get live coverage, in-depth analysis, and perspectives from the voices you trust, all in one place. Stream Fox News on Fox One. Download today.
Fayetteville's first radio station, and still first in serving our community. News Talk 640 WFNC. Stream online at WFNC640am.com. Never a password, never a fee.
Attention Lumberton, the pre-owned pre-auction sale is here. 1 week only. One exclusive lot host location, Lumberton Honda. Before these cars head to auction, you get first shot. All makes, all models. Bad credit, no credit. Our lenders are locked in and ready today. Bring that trade in, push it, pull it, tow it. We want it, and we'll give you top dollar for it. The pre-owned pre-auction sale coming to Lumberton Honda, exit 22 of I-95. Offer with approved credit. Trade value must be determined with visual inspection. See dealer for complete details. Expires 2/28/26.
Attention Lumberton! Attention Rainford! And you too, Fort Bragg!
Remember this, 295-95, exit 22. That's the brand new easy drive from Fayetteville straight to Lumberton Honda. And you're here in 20 minutes. If you're buying a Honda, there's no reason to go anywhere else. Lumberton Honda is the best place to shop. And now it's never been easier to get here. Say it again, 295-95, exit 22. Lumberton Honda, the only stop you need.
David is a real Prevagen user, and this is his story.
Nice to meet you. My name is David. I've been a pharmacist for 44 years, and I'm from Flowery Branch, Georgia. When I first started taking Prevagen, I noticed stuff just seemed to come together and fit like a jigsaw puzzle. When I have customers come in, I recommend Prevagen. Number one, because it's safe and effective, does not require a prescription. And I've been taking it quite a while myself, and I know it works. I wouldn't recommend something like Prevagen if I didn't think it was worth it because it works so good for me. And I love it when the customers come back in and tell me, David, that really works so good. Makes my day.
Prevagen, at stores everywhere without a prescription. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Testimonialist was compensated for their time.
I'm Don Brown, Navy veteran and former prosecutor. The political establishment is pouring millions into the Senate race to control your vote. But North Carolina doesn't take orders from party bosses. I'm running to defend secure elections, the rule of law, medical freedom, and conservative values. They can spend millions, but they can't outvote you. Early voting is underway. Vote Don Brown for U.S. Senate. I'm Don Brown, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Don Brown for U.S. Senate.
Home is where memories are made and futures begin. The Fayetteville Area Habitat for Humanity presents Home is Where the Heart Is, a powerful evening of purpose and inspiration, Thursday, March 26, at the Cape Fear Botanical Garden, with special guest Miss Felicia Rashad, best known for her role on the iconic sitcom, The Cosby Show. This semi-formal evening supports Habitat's life-changing home-building efforts across our region. Secure your seat now at FayetteVilleNCHabitat.org.
Good Morning Fayetteville with Gilbert Baez on WFNC News Talk 640 AM and now on 103.5 HD2 WFNC.
News Talk 640 WFNC. Hey, it's 640. Who would believe it? It's time for the 640 replay on WFNC. I'm in here every other Wednesday.
Yes.
With a whole bunch of stuff.
I try.
And now you bought, I'm going to bring them up on camera here. You have two magistrates with you here to talk about a number of different things. Introduce your guests.
Well, we have our chief magistrate, Michelle Johnson, and then we have Nicholas Sisk, who is also one of our magistrates.
And you're the chief judge,
yes.
district court judge for Cumberland County. And how long have you been in that position?
I've been the chief since 2021.
And you're up for re-election, but nobody's running against you?
Yes.
Come on now. That says an awful lot. We appreciate what you've done all these years.
I'm grateful.
Yes, and we talked about some of the cases that you had to cover, and a lot of the times when you have to deal with children, it's pretty difficult for you to do.
It's always difficult because emotions, you want to make sure you do what's right for the children. So it's a lot of different factors that we have to take into consideration.
You brought your magistrates here, and you sent me a note to tell us some of the things that they can talk about. And I'm just read a couple of these things off here. You know, you deal with weddings, small claim courts, civil filings, and evictions. What's the difficult things for the magistrates to deal with when you have to have people come in? You have the good and the bad. Let's talk about the bad first, and we'll get to the good. But folks have to come to you and deal with bond and get a bond. How does that work?
Well, we take into consideration the crime itself. That's the first and foremost indicator of how we will proceed, because there are several crimes in which a magistrate cannot set bond on. But we look at the seriousness of the offense and then the history of the individual before us. But we have to keep in mind bond is not punishment. Bond is to ensure the appearance of court of the defendant brought before us.
You know, I've always been kind of intrigued with the bond situation, because you get a bail's bondsman, and you have to pay a percentage of what the bond is. For example, if it's a $50,000 bond, how much does a person have to pay if it's not secured in order to get out?
A bondsman cannot charge more than 15% of the total bond. Some bondsmen charge a lesser amount. Some can charge up to 10% if they wish, but state law provides that they cannot charge more than 15% of the total bond.
And, you know, we see a lot of shows where there's someone bounty hunting to bring someone back who missed the bond. How does that work? I mean, why is it up to the bondsmen to grab the person, bring them back? Explain how it works.
Exactly. So if a bondsman wants to go off of a bond, they would collect the defendant and present them to the jail and submit documents and paperwork to us and surrender them to the jail to release them financially of the responsibility of the defendant. If the defendant is already in jail, then that bondsman does not have to go out and do what they would consider to be bounty hunting. They would simply submit the paperwork to go off of the bond.
Right. Right back on. Your Honor, when a bondsman goes out like that, do they have legal right to go and arrest someone, or how does that work?
They do have the legal right to go and take them into custody so that they can surrender them, because the contract that they entered into as far as their obligation to appear in court and abide by whatever conditions that were set.
So it's up to that individual. They get them, they bring them in. Now, at that point, what happens to the bond?
The bond would go back to the original bond that was set initially by whomever, either the judge or the magistrate. So if the bond was $50,000, then that would be the bond that would go back onto the defendant, and they would have to post that bond again.
And what's the difference between a secured bond and a non-secured bond?
Secured bond is that you have to post something to be released. And in North Carolina, one of three ways you can get released, and that's by posting real estate, which is house or land, going through a bondsman, or cash.
And so if I put my house up to secure my bond and I don't make it, you get to take my house?
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. And that money goes to the county school system.
Is that right? How often has that happened?
Often.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm not.
Oh, we get a lot of people that come in and they put grandma's house up and...
No, they don't.
They do.
Their parents, yes.
Well, don't you feel bad taking grandma's house, Your Honor?
Well, we have to do it by law. I can feel bad, but the law requires it.
And there is information that we provide to those folks to let them know the consequences of posting someone's real estate, their home, to get someone out of jail. They have to sign documents understanding what happens if Junior does not appear in court.
So you mean that if grandma has to sign the documents saying that I know that if my grandson doesn't show up, you're going to take my house?
Yes.
And where does grandma go?
What do you mean?
If she wishes to do that, she would have to first go to the tax office, and that tax information is presented to us to show that the value of the property and that the taxes and there are no liens against the property. Now, if the bond is more than $50,000, there's an extra step that they have to go to the clerk's office. They have to do a deed search, title search, and so that's a bit more complicated.
Yeah. Well, it's a process.
I don't want to beat this one down, but I've done a lot of stories. And I just normally say the secure bond said $300,000 and he makes his next court appearance so and I go on about it. But when you dig into this, for anyone who has to go through the process, they really need to understand the severity of that commitment of signing that paper for a bond for your house that your grandmother lives in, and you not fulfilling the obligations to appear in court, because that's all that this is doing. Yes. That's all it's saying is you're going to appear. But if you jump bail and go to another state or something like that and say you're not going to make appearance, now if the bail bondsman catches the guy and bring him in, is the house still given back, or how's that work?
So that's a different process altogether. A bondsman is not involved in the
real estate.
Putting up the real estate. The bondsman would only be involved if the bondsman posted the bond, and the bondsman receives a premium to post that bond. And if that person jumps bail, as you had said, then the bondsman would go and arrest the defendant and bring him back.
Well, this is interesting stuff for me. I didn't realize all that part of it because, fortunately for me, I've never had to see either one of you two. And I hope to never have to see. Well, I did have to go. I'd never come in front of you, Your Honor, about anything, but I have.
Sat in my courtroom.
Yeah, I've sat in your courtroom. Sometimes if you've never been to a courtroom to watch what goes on there, if you would let us bring popcorn and something to drink, it's a show. I mean, you can't believe some of the stuff that goes on in the courtroom. You've seen some. What's the most outrageous thing you can remember, Your Honor?
I really can't recall. There's been so much. But I think anything that you see on TV could very well be seen in our courtrooms.
And if how about dress? There's a certain dress that people have to wear when they come in. There are people who wear all kind of stuff.
Well, we want you to be presentable, no midriffs. We want you to dress appropriately, but we also take into consideration that people have financial differences, and so not everyone can appear in a suit, but you can appear in some slacks, long pants, not pajamas, not bonnets, not having your stomach or, being revealing. And so just a certain decorum that we do require.
Okay, let's get off of that because there's other exciting things that we can talk about. I have all of you up on camera right now on the podcast. If you're just joining us right now, 718, you're looking at three folks from our court system, Judge King, and also Michelle Johnson and Nick Sisk. Right, just a six. And the neat thing about Rick is he's an Army Ranger. Cool. We appreciate it. And he's a Winter Ranger, too. Sewed his tab on with a white thread. He's hardcore.
All right.
Rick, what do you want to add to this thing here?
Well, I'd like to add to talk about small claims court is...
wait, hold on one second.
Okay.
What kind of operation are we running here? Okay, now turn his mic on.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Small claims court, probably the easiest way to explain small claims court, it's Judge Judy, except we're nicer. A lot of the drama is turned up a couple notches on Judge Judy, to, just for entertainment value. But if people want to get an idea of what a typical small claims case is like, or typical small claims hearing is like. Judge Judy or Judge Wapner or Judge Brown are typical examples. In fact, a lot of the cases they get for those shows, they pull from small claim dockets. So those are actual real small claims cases that they choose to use on the TV shows.
And the outcome for those shows are binding?
Yes. Well, they signed a binding contract with the TV shows. So they choose to remove it from the court setting and to the show, and typically the shows will pay them what they're asking for, so everybody leaves happy.
Oh, so it's more just dramatic for television than anything.
It's a real binding on them, and they agree to the results that Judge Judy or Judge Brown says on TV.
Judge King, any TV stuff for you in the future once you leave the bench and say, hey, I'm going to be Judge King, and now I'm Judge King.
I will not rule it out. Let's see.
Well, you do a fine job in here, so that would be interesting. All right, look, we're going to take a little break and come back to you here in a second, because you weren't supposed to come on until 7:20.
That's right.
And then we got a special guest who's in here, and I want to make sure we bring him in because you knew him, and you didn't know that you knew him when you saw until you. Well, we'll save that until we come back.
Yes.
And we'll talk about a few more things. We want to talk with the magistrates about filing civil process and also evictions. You know, that's got to be a nightmare for folks. And I know several realtors who say, it is a nightmare when you have to get in there. You get somebody, you get a certain amount of time, but they get them out, they tear up the place, and we'll talk about all that in a few seconds. You're listening to News Talk 640 WFNC. Right, figure it out here. Man, you know what? I wish that we can just play what we do during the breaks, because that's some of the best stuff that goes on in the studio. We talk about a lot of different things. We've got the Honorable Toni King in here, along with her cohorts, who happen to be magistrates in the Cumberland County court system. And we're talking about a lot of things. We talked about bonds. I tell you what, if you don't know about bonds, you need to study up on that and find out what that's about. Turn this down. Because when you hear all the things that are involved with that, you could lose somebody's home and all that kind of, lose your freedom. I just can't imagine being in anybody's jail. I mean, that's enough for me. I did one story where I went up to the old courthouse, and part of my stand-up was I was in the jail, and they closed the cell on me. And when that thing hit, it made me, it said, I will never commit a crime in my life. I can't imagine that's going to be my existence.
Right.
But anyway, there are people who say, what the heck? All right, Your Honor, why did you bring these people here with you? And there are a lot of things that they can do and talk about.
Well, I think that a lot of people don't know what magistrates do. Sometimes they don't even know that magistrates exist. They believe that the judge is doing everything. And so I thought it was important to know that we have magistrates here in Cumberland County. They work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. They never close. And so when you don't see the judge, a lot of times behind the scenes, what you see is the magistrates doing a lot of different things. As you said earlier, they have several different duties that they also have to comply with: weddings, small claims court. They do 50B domestic violence protection orders when the courts are closed. So I just thought it was important for the public to hear and to know some of the duties that they have.
Well, let's talk about a couple of those duties. And we alluded to the fact we're going to talk a little about evictions. That can be a complicated thing. And they've referred to you both as Your Honors also. Isn't that correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay. Your Honors, talk about evictions. Because if you're a landlord and you want to get somebody out, there's a process that you have to go to. And a lot of times people say it's in favor of the tenant as opposed to, isn't that right? Don't you hear that all the time?
A common statement made by landlords is that tenants have all the rights.
Bring that microphone a little bit closer to you.
A common statement that is made by landlords is that the tenants have all the rights, but the reasoning behind the creation of the laws is because years ago, landlords had no laws that they had to follow in order to remove someone from their home. And so there are laws that they do have to follow, but it is equal. There is no other process in the civil system in which you can get a court case within 7 days before a magistrate or a judge. The small claims process for evictions is expedited.
That was just a great conversation. Tony King, Judge Tony King, District Court Judge, brought in a couple of magistrates. We talked in depth about their role and some of the things they do. It was just fascinating to hear about what can happen to your house. And you've bailed out some people, and
Yes.
they've left you on the lam there, and you lose your money, man.
Yes, you do. You lose your money. If you put up your house, you lose your home. It's possible.
Wow. Well, anyway, let's just try and stay out of crime. Let's put the court system out of business.
Yeah, and let's get rid of my brother that I bailed out.
Okay. Hey, you listen to News Talk 640 WFNC. We've got local weather right now with CBS 17 meteorologist Rachel Dunsey.
Today will be a cloudy and rainy Thursday with a high of 66. Overnight, a spotty shower is possible, but it will otherwise be mainly cloudy with a low of 48. And Friday will also be mostly cloudy with a stray spotty shower and a high of 57. A half inch, even up to an inch of rain is expected through today, with conditions eventually drying out tomorrow. But it will be a beautiful weekend with highs in the 60s and 70s. That is your Fayetteville forecast. I'm CBS 17 meteorologist Rachel Dunsing.
Hey, Rachel, thank you. Right now, still 52 degrees across the board. Anderson Creek, Godwin, and also in Fayetteville. You're listening to News Talk 640 WFNC.
This report is sponsored by Fox One.
Fox News is now streaming live on Fox One. When it matters most, turn to the voices you trust. At home or on the go, stay connected when it counts. Stream Fox News on Fox One. Download today.
Proud to be your hometown news and information source for